This thing is 6 inches long. It lives off the coast of Florida, hiding in a hole in the sand. And it can throw a punch fast enough to boil the water around its fist. Not metaphorically, actually boil it. The mantis shrimp. And it might be the most dangerous thing, pound for pound, that's ever existed on this planet.
The Gulf of Mexico looks calm from the surface. Warm water, clear visibility, boats everywhere. But 6 feet below that surface, something has been operating for 400 million years that scientists still don't fully understand. The mantis shrimp doesn't look dangerous. That's the first thing people get wrong. It's colorful, almost beautiful, the kind of thing you'd see in an aquarium and think was decoration.
It is 6 inches long. It lives off the coast of Florida, hiding in a hole in the sand. And it can throw a punch fast enough to boil the water around its fist. Not metaphorically, actually boil it. The mantis shrimp. And it might be the most dangerous thing, pound for pound, that's ever existed on this planet.
How old this animal is. When the mantis shrimp first appeared on Earth, there were no trees, no dinosaurs, no mammals. Nothing that would eventually become you had even started forming yet.
About 400 million years ago. And it decided then exactly how it was going to hunt. And it never changed. It didn't need to. While every other predator on the planet was adapting, evolving, growing new weapons, the mantis shrimp sat in its hole off the Florida coast and kept doing what it always did. Because what it does is so violent, so precise, and so impossibly fast that nothing ever made it feel pressure to improve. That's not stubbornness. That's perfection. Here's where it gets genuinely strange. The punch we talked about, the one that boils water, it doesn't just hit its target. It creates a cavitation bubble, a small pocket of near vacuum that collapses at temperatures close to the surface of the sun. So even if it misses, the collapse of that bubble hits you with a second shockwave. It gets 2 hits with 1 punch. At MIT studied that strike for years, trying to understand how the club doesn't shatter on impact. The structure of the mantis shrimp's fist is so efficient at absorbing force that they've been trying to recreate it in body armor and aircraft panels. This 6-inch shrimp is redesigning how we think about military equipment. The punch isn't even the most unsettling part. The eyes are. 3 types of color: red, green, blue. Everything you've ever seen in your entire life came from 3 channels of color information. The mantis shrimp sees 16. 16 types of color receptor. It perceives ultraviolet light, infrared, and colors that don't have names in any human language because no human has ever seen them. We genuinely do not know what the world looks like to this animal. That is not a small thing. That is one of the most profound gaps in human knowledge, sitting quietly in a hole in the sand off the coast of Florida. Here's what's changing. Development across the Gulf of Mexico is destroying the shallow reef systems where mantis shrimp build their burrows. The same animal that survived 4 mass extinctions, that outlasted the dinosaurs, that never once needed to adapt in 400 million years, is now losing ground to hotel construction and runoff from sugar farms. And here's why that matters beyond the animal itself. The shrimp sits at a specific point in the reef food chain. Remove it, and the species it controls in population terms don't disappear. They explode. Small crustaceans and mollusks it hunts will overpopulate and strip reef systems of the organisms that build coral structure. One predator, 6 inches long, holding an entire ecosystem in balance, with a punch measured in the same unit as a gunshot. And we're paving over its home to build condos. Researcher at the University of Queensland who spent 15 years studying mantis shrimp vision. At the end of those 15 years, she said this: "We kept assuming it saw color the way we do, just better. But it doesn't process color the way we do at all. It might not be experiencing color as a sensation. It might be using it as pure data, like a computer reading code rather than a human seeing a sunset. Think about what that means.
Visually complex creature on Earth might not experience beauty at all. It just uses what it sees to hit things harder than anything its size should be capable of. 400 million years of evolution, and it never once needed to wonder what any of it looked like.